Yeah, I don't know why I did this either. Hello, my creatures and critters, I'm Mercury. Today we are talking about Fruit Love Island. Now, for the lucky ones who don't know what Fruit Love Island is, it's an AI-generated short series on TikTok that is a parody and or copy of the reality TV show Love Island. I don't really watch reality TV, however, I do like drawing fruit, and since I've been going through a bad art block, for some reason I just had to show how an unprofessional artist and character designer would design these fruit-based characters. And I drew 8 of the fruits, so let's get into it. The first fruit I'm drawing is the watermelon. I believe in the slop her name was Watermelina, but to be fair, that name sucks, and her design sucks, and it's not even consistent. To no surprise, since it's AI generated, it changes by episodes. Not even during an episode, it changes scene to scene. So I'm not even going to be referencing a design for any of these characters because there's like 7 things to reference and I hate all of them. So this isn't really me redesigning the Fruit Love Island characters, rather me making my own fruit-inspired characters that are vaguely on the theme of Love Island in terms of the fashion that I see around these reality TV spaces. For this watermelon character, I decided to give her a fuller figure, at least when compared to these copy-paste abominations. Also, no hate for skinny, curvy people, I'm just tired of seeing it everywhere, always. And have you seen a watermelon? I'm sorry, I do hope I never run into a skinny watermelon. To add to that roundness, it's also why I gave her this bob, and I kind of wanted to look like a slice of melon, and I also gave her these huge watermelon earrings, cause girl, why wouldn't I? I love a fun, dramatic earring. With that said, I'm gonna go right into moving to our next character. This is a character that I didn't really understand. She was supposed to be like this popular girl before the first bombshell came in, and I'll get to her, just you wait. But practically the first few episodes were just this pineapple and watermelon character fighting. There were 4 main female characters, and the other 2 were just very neglected. I know the one was a cherry, but I can't even say with 100% certainty what the other fruit was. But whatever, I don't care about the personalities of these characters because they suck too. All of them had the personality equivalent of getting a glass of milk when you ordered a latte. So, you got what you were asking for. You got these hyper dramatic, emotionally unregulated, fit for reality TV show characters. However, you still probably wanted a cafe latte and didn't realize that latte just means milk. In the nicest way, they are the most flavorless, boring characters that hyper dramatic can get you. I don't understand how people got into the show, but it got millions of views, so I guess I'm wrong. But I did also wanted to give her these long spiky hair like pineapple leaves, but I made most of it yellow to get that pineapple through more. Also, the flower is specifically the pineapple plant's flower. They tend to be this reddish orange in color like this, which I added throughout the design, but unironically, my favorite part of these design had to be these pineapple tidbits I made for necklaces. I just thought it was super cute, and of course, I had to make her dress shimmer and give her some body glitter, because who doesn't like some body glitter? But for now, let's move on to... So this is one of the few names of these characters that I actually bothered to remember, simply because I actually like this name of Cherita. Don't get me wrong, it's still kind of on the same level of all of the other names, but Cherita is kind of cute to me, and therefore it stood out to me. However, like all these characters, I did try to find them a different name, just because I wanted to mess around with words. Now, this character was the best one in the series by far. By that, she had an actual storyline and emotional depth. Now, you may be wondering why I'm giving so much credit to AI. Well, that's because I'm not. Most of her dialogue and story was actually just stolen from the reality TV show, word for word. Pretty much, she took the storyline of being a mother with a young daughter and has this conflict of being a single mother in an environment like this. It's the only thing on the show that felt real and felt human because it was stolen word for word from other people. For design, I decided to go mostly with this pink cherry blossom theme for her. I felt like it was fitting. However, I do have an apology to make. Now, in the Fruit Love Island canon, she is bald. It was mentioned in one clip that I only saw once, and I originally intended to keep her that way. We stan a hairless queen. However, I forgot that detail when I was actually drawing her, and I came up with this cute little twin bun look, which I do really like, and I felt like it fit the themes of cherries so well that I didn't go back to making her bald. I will say, another idea that I had for her that I wasn't going to do, but I'm going to share it for anyone who wants to steal it. And that was making this cherry character a conjoined twin. I didn't do this because I was already going to draw 8 characters, not to mention going through some serious burnout, and I didn't want to push myself to draw even more. And specifically draw something that I haven't really drawn yet. If I was under better conditions, I would have done that. And I still would like to see it, which is one reason I'm sharing it here. If you think that's a fun idea and you want to try it out, then please, go do it. It is now time for the first bombshell of the series. The Ohio girl herself. And I'm serious, we learn nothing about these characters' backstories or home lives besides the cherry and the strawberry being from Ohio. I heard that she was from Ohio and went, hey, maybe there is other information about other characters that I could use when designing them, to the point that I went digging, and I found the official website for the series, and it literally had nothing. Not to mention, it was wrong. Like, it said the watermelon was the one with the child, and the strawberry was the member of the original cast. Which, to be fair, why am I surprised that the website for an AI show is clearly AI generated and wrong? I hate this. Also, just a note, when I went back to find this website, I couldn't. I don't know if it's just been super buried or taken off the internet. Whatever reason, I don't know, I just can't find it. Just know that it existed and it was wrong about the most basic, actually followable things. Back on track, one of the main comments I see for this character is that it is impossible to tell her and the watermelon apart most of the time, which I thought it would be fun to lean on that and make her kind of similar to the watermelon, but still very distinct, in a way more pointy is what I was going for. I also was craving some alt fashion, so I gave her piercings, tattoos, and tried to come up with a more alternative beach fashion look. However, I didn't, and it's time to move on. A little intermission to say this April 15th, I will be live streaming. April 15th is my birthday, and so if you think I'm slightly funny and have some time to stop by after 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, you can wish me a happy birthday, or just see whatever art I'm working on at the time. For the record, no hate to men. Men are great. However, I do have 2 problems. One, I'm not the best at drawing men. Like, I'm not bad at it, I just don't do it often. But the problem for this mainly comes with the fact that when I draw a men, I really only draw them in dresses or shirtless if they look like Azrael. One of the reasons for this is that wealthy male fashion is super boring to me. I looked up Love Island men for ideas, and I seriously saw only white button-up t-shirts. I looked up interesting, fancy male clothing, a plain, white, button-up. I would rather die than draw a plain, white button-up. However, I did admittedly also see some Hawaiian shirts, so whatever, I'm doing that, I'm just gonna throw bananas on there, and I'm gonna hope it's gonna turn out, and yes, I'm giving this character large earrings. No, I'm not stopping now that I'm drawing a man. I have an agenda to push. Now, I will say the character in the AI slop was this standard masculine man in the bad way. He gave Andrew Tate, and that's not the person I want to think about when I'm watching anything. Originally, I wanted to lean into that, but as I was drawing specifically this fluffy shaved hair that is also long. He gave me this more silly redneck energy that, while not my intention, I love so much more and decided to lean into that fully. I gave him a cute little gap in his teeth and birthmarks so it looks like he's a banana that's been left out for a bit. I decided to tone down all the muscles, and honestly, I love him so much. But now it is time to move on to... Okay, this is one of the ones that I really struggled with. I really didn't want to do a turtleneck for these designs because Love Island, tropical, warm, but I gave in to myself because I really wanted to draw one. The only thing I really knew is that I wanted to do these bubble dreads. I can't remember where I first saw them, but they have been haunting me ever since. This is the first time I've ever tried drawing them, so it's not the best, but I did really try to give off this look of grapes falling off the side of his head. I also really struggled with the colors on this one. I wanted green to be consistent throughout all the designs, to be like a hue uniting all of the cast, but I didn't know how I wanted to introduce green to this design. Also, I want to say this now, in case someone will comment about this. This was my original idea. It's a very obvious one, and when I started making the drawings for this, I started seeing other artists post their videos doing the exact same thing. However, I did refuse to watch all of them. I wanted all the designs to come up with to be solely my own. I'm admittedly very slow when it comes to making videos, and I'm even slower when it comes to learning about topics I swear everyone knows about. I wanted to say this just in case my designs were really close to theirs and people think I just copied them. I don't even know if that's the case because I haven't watched any of them yet. I probably will while I'm editing this one though. With that said, this is my Grape man, and now it is time for... So as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was going through a lot of art blocks and general struggles when I started this. When beginning to work on this idea, it was a lot of pushing myself to do something and then struggling and then redoing stuff completely. However, when I got around to this point, I started to have more fun and I was able to push myself much further and do better. For example, I went back to the old designs and I messed around with the colors a bit more. I gave them facial hair or body hair on some of the designs, but more importantly, I actually committed to making this character plus-sized. Things like facial hair or just generally being a man is something that I struggle with and I've been trying to improve on specifically for over the last year and a half. I do, however, have this agreement with myself that if I am struggling to draw, I will draw anyway, but I will not push myself out of my comfort zone. I am already doing that, and if I do it more, I will just give up. But since I was doing better, I was able to push myself to go even further, and this design is probably one of my favorites, even though I think it's probably one of the most simple ones I came up with. I decided to mix this kind of fancy turtleneck and Hawaiian shirt aesthetic because I do still struggle with male fashion. And this is the only character I didn't give big earrings because I wanted him to have these cute orange slice piercing instead. I decided to give him cute little embroidery on his pants, and I think this is, again, by far my favorite of all the designs I came up with. I think he is so cute. I love him deeply. And I will admit, I feel so sad that these characters serve no purpose besides that I felt like making them, and now this video. I will probably be tearing them apart for scraps, taking what I learned and giving it to the characters in my fantasy world. However, I am also going to be selling them. I've never sold an adoptable before, but I do love these characters and I would love to see them used or loved by other people. However, I will have to get back to that later because now it is time for... So I was having a hard time deciding if I wanted to draw the coconut or the dragon fruit. They are both bombshell characters that weren't a part of the original cast. However, I decided to do dragon fruit because out of all the men, I felt like I could finally draw an outfit that I would actually give one of my OCs because I could. I gave him a bunch of tattoos, makeup, piercings, and this not really boho kind of thing. I made him shirtless with these booty shorts and a big ass coat. This is my kind of man. If they aren't in a dress, they are dressed like this. I also gave him a beard, but I dyed it pink because why not? This is purely chosen for my own enjoyment, and I did have a lot of fun here. Side note, this character is supposed to be like this edgy, bad playboy character. Like, they made him red and edgy, but like, not. One, dragon fruits aren't red, they are more magenta than they are red. Make him pink, at least. Or give him like a different fruit. There are so many red fruits out there. And two, when I say this character is edgy, I mean like they gave him a knife, but they took away the blade. I can tell he's supposed to be edgy and cool and alternative, but like nothing about that is actually any of those things. Like, congrats on giving him spiky hair and a jacket sometimes, but why does he have no piercings? What is this? Get it off my screen. Also, no hate to alt people without piercings. I am one of you. I got my ears pierced at like the Claire's when I was 8, and I forget to even wear those earrings most of the time. I see no point in getting more piercings, because I probably will forget to use them too. Like, as a side note, there are a lot of different ways to be alt, and none of them require piercings. But like, dear God, give him something! And with that, I have watched far more AI slop than I would have ever liked to. As I hinted towards that earlier, all these characters are up for sale on my Kofi, so if you'd like one, you can check out my prices there, as well if you would like other art, then you can also commission me or just support me there. Also, for those that may be new and like this video, I'd like to inform you that this is way different from my other content and is something that I probably won't be doing ever again. I had fun while it lasted, but there was a bunch of things that I wish I could do better that I just don't think this format allows me to do in a way that I am comfortable with or is actually sustainable. And for my longer time viewers, I am changing up my content in general a little bit. Like, I'm completely rebranding myself. I have a new username and channel banner that I will update on April 15th before my live stream. As well as, while I like the videos ideas that I had and the videos that I make, I want to make them higher quality. I want to take more time drawing creatures and learning rather than doing a one and done style now. Not to mention, I want to start posting about my OCs and lore about my fantasy world. Hello, I cannot be the only one that knows about the life death. I need to talk to someone about her before I die. Anyway, I hope you had fun regardless, and I hope that you'll like the content to come. But with that said, this is the end of the Nightmares Art era.